at the same time, yeah, I mean the guy's kind of coming off a little crabby.
Ben switched it live just so.
Thanks for putting me live.
For good reason. I'm not trying to do you in. I'm just saying we got to get rolling with the show, man.
Yep.
Welcome to the Practical Pistol Show. Everybody knows my name. Here's the lineup tonight. We got Les Pepperoni. Yeah, you just nod your head. There are audio rip listeners as well, Les, so you got to say something.
Cool intro here, right?
Yes.
Mr. Yantola is also with us. Grandmaster Nick.
Hello, guys.
Who's now winning major matches like a boss by like 40% or whatever. I don't know. Won by a lot. Shit. And Tim Herron.
Hey, guys.
He's definitely the nicest guy in this podcast. No doubt.
When I'm not laying the hammer down.
Laying down the band hammer. What a dick.
Oh, shit.
All right, guys, today we are talking about cash payouts. Could it bring more competition or not? I'll link up this thread in the show notes on YouTube if anybody's curious to read it. But let me read this post for you guys, and then we'll dig into this a little bit. I know it's been discussed before about prize tables. We'll skip prize tables and have cash payouts only. You wouldn't have to stick around for the prize table at the end of the match. Match sponsors could still donate prizes, which would be random draw that you'd get at registration. Here's my proposal for cash payouts. This is based off of NSSA skeet shooting proposal, payout schedule tweak for USPSA. These numbers are taken from 2008 Area 3 match, if I remember. Whatever, I don't care about it. Let's skip on. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so he says match fee is $100. Say $50 goes for the match, and $45 goes to the class pool, and $5 goes to the champion pool. So if you have 74 shooters total in limited division, he's got this sample breakdown. So if you win that match in particular with this scheme, you'd get $370. The GM class pool would be 126, and on down the line. So like if you win D class, you'd get $189, something like this. Anyway, do you guys think that this would bring more heat to the matches, more competition, or perhaps not?
You know.
Yeah, go ahead, Les. Hit it.
I'm gonna jump right in. There's a guy I shoot with pretty regularly at the local scene, Steve Hickman, and Steve's got a pretty big archery background. So getting off of Nick's golf theme here for a moment.
We should look at what they do in archery, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty interesting. He sent me a lot of the doc on what they do for the cash payouts and the breakdowns per divisions, and they kind of have some things like compound bow, recurve. I don't quite understand it all, but it's just not something I'm kind of hip to. But it was certainly interesting. I think they have like $1 million prize for a person who shoots the entire season clean, right? Like no missed arrows, everything is a bullseye, and that's pretty significant. On the flip side, I will say I don't know that it gets more people into archery. I think it's just for the people that are already shooting archery, it kind of makes it a little more rewarding in a way. But I kind of wonder what the motivation with cash payouts is. I mean, let's face it, USPSA is still kind of a losing proposition. We all do it.
I was going to say like a sick financial joke, but yeah, losing proposition. That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, that's the polite way of putting it. I don't know if it would necessarily get more people into the sport, or if it's even, I don't know, if it's even worth it to a certain degree. I don't know. I've got mixed feelings about it. I think for the people that are already in it, would a good cash payout help, or would it hinder? I don't think it would do much. I think the people that are still kind of at the top of the heap are still going to be at the top of the heap. And I don't think that it's going to do anything to attract newer people. And especially if it's going to attract newer people, where the hell would they go? I mean, a lot of clubs are already kind of at capacity. I think a lot of matches are already at capacity. It's not like we can have like a multi-day, multi-week shooting tournament here or something like that.
Is that what you think might happen if we have cash payouts?
Actually, I don't think that USPSA is that popular or whatever happen like that, but I mean, we're kind of on the fringe here, man.
All right, Nick, I'm sure you've got a strong opinion about this.
If you're going to talk about just
golf, Nick, I swear to God.
what they do in golf, Les, is like
Yes, let's talk about what they do in golf. Where guys get millions to win certain tournaments, right? Like huge purses.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Okay. So answer that question. Okay. So in golf, you can get millions of dollars to win a tournament. Does anybody start playing golf because they want to win millions of dollars as a pro? I doubt it.
I don't know. I don't play golf.
Okay. So I don't think anyone starts playing golf with the singular goal of becoming a pro. Okay. So do I think that cash payouts and USPSA are going to bring in more competition? Honestly, no. I don't. I think it's, if they were able to get the cash payouts higher through one way or one means or another, I think I personally would like that as a guy that's already into USPSA. But like anybody else, I didn't start competitive shooting because of any prize money.
Dude, think about all the money you've made doing competitive shooting.
Yeah, how do you?
Right.
Well, Tim, I'm sure Tim can talk about this, but how do you make a large or a small fortune in USPSA start with a large fortune?
Yeah, that's pretty much how it goes.
They talk about that with auto racing, I guess.
Yep.
Tim, cash payouts, go or no go?
I'm not. Honest, I don't see a reason to have cash payouts.
Because then you get cash.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, the same guys that are winning the match are going to get cash. But I mean, looking at the breakdown,
Dude, look at this.
even
if this guy's,
no,
if you win limited division at an area match, you get $370. That's pretty fucking tight, right?
Dude,
Well,
that covers like nothing.
it covers one night of the hotel and the gas to get to the match and home. That's about it.
Doesn't cover reg, doesn't cover food, doesn't cover boat, doesn't cover
Right.
I'll tell you guys something kind of funny. So I won an area match recently, and I didn't know this, but there was a cash payout for the division winners. I was given $200. It seemed like a really weird amount of money to me.
Woo!
Man, you guys suffer up there. We got better cash payouts than that down here.
Well, there was no cash payout advertised for the match. You just decided to do it.
It's like, hey, congrats.
The only people that got payouts were the division winners.
Okay, so it's a nice surprise, right? I mean, it's still $200, still $200.
$200 I didn't.
You're
I don't want to put it
anyway.
It was $200 that I didn't think I would have at the end of the match, but I had $200 before I started the match. Then I had to buy some gas to drive there, and buy hotel room and pay for papers.
Yeah.
Then I didn't have that $200 anymore, and then I did again. It was awesome.
Yeah. I'm personally not privy to the cash payout thing. I think it'd just be better. I mean, I think the way it is now is fine. Where you kind of hunt for sponsors. Sponsors sponsor the match. They send some stuff, and winner of a match or whatnot gets a nice gun off the price table or something like that. If he wants to keep it, great. If he wants to sell it, I know I've sold a couple of prize guns I won last year for a lot more than $281 or $381. So, and a few of those I've kept, too. I don't know. I kind of dig the prizes a little bit better, I think, than just the cash. Especially, to me, the cash is kind of, I don't want to say it's insulting, but $300, when I probably got $500 to $800 wrapped up in a trip to an area match, it's like, really?
To be honest, it's a fucking joke. I mean, $200 in your pocket versus not.
Thank you, Les.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's nicer than no money in your pocket, but at the same time, I mean, like,
if it was all about the money, who'd be shooting, right?
Yeah, I mean, come on. This is kind of interesting. It kind of goes back to the whole Strader interview that you had a few days ago. He's talking about how a lot of the multi-gun matches, because there are more of them, the manufacturers aren't supporting or sponsoring. And I don't know if this is true or not necessarily, but but he's saying that the prize tables at a lot of these multi-gun matches have gotten like smaller and smaller. And I mean, I think I don't know. I think are they going to bump into the same problem? I mean, what do you do? I mean, that's even more retardedly expensive than what we do, just shooting one fucking type of firearm. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's I don't see it defraying anything. I mean, it's
Okay, so if your options are to have cash and prizes or to not have cash and prizes, which one do we prefer?
Well, Nick, let me read you this post, and I'll ask you what you think about it, because I think it makes for good fodder for conversation. Guy posted, money's an even bigger incentive for cheating, sandbagging, and other assorted asshattery. Keep it out. So, and his option, basically our options are what Les would describe as a joke amount of money. So let's say next year you train real hard, you practice, you get better, and you win Area 6, and you get $370. What this guy's saying is Nicky Antola getting his 370 is, I mean, that's just an incentive to cheating, sandbagging, and asshattery. But what do you, I mean, what do you make of that?
So first of all, the division payout at Area 6 was $1,000 this year, which is
well, not using this scheme that we're looking at.
Right.
$1,000, man.
Yeah.
So what do you? So you get to be you're riding around in your Rolls Royce.
That's pretty much enough to cover my whole trip, I'd say. But anyway,
it doesn't even cover my fucking beer tab for a night, man.
we can't all be ballers like you, Les. That's wild.
So 1,000. So you'd say that's better than nothing, right?
Yeah, 1,000 is definitely better than nothing.
1,000 is better. 1,000 is more than zero. Thus better.
Okay. In terms of, I don't think that it'll motivate more cheating or anything like that. Honestly.
No, you cheat just for free, right?
I think people are going to cheat are going to do it for free, and people aren't or not. I don't really think that it'll do that in terms of increasing the amount of cheating or anything.
I think that.
Just don't believe it.
How much money for you to cheat, Tim?
No amount of money is going to allow me to cheat or want me to cheat or cause me. I'm not going to cheat
right now.
No, I think the intent of that guy's response, though, about it allowing people to sandbag or
it would encourage sandbagging.
Encouraging sandbagging and stuff. Yeah, is based on the original poster's breakdown of the whole 70, 50, 20 or whatever it was. Because then you look at like a B class guy's making $389, whereas the first master or grandmaster is making like $180.
Yeah, but I think they get all their money from their sponsors.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, because if you're a GM, you're getting a full ride for sure.
Well, yeah, you fly in on your fucking jet, right?
That's my understanding.
So, and I think if that were the case, yeah, I mean, using kind of that breakdown that he was talking about, yeah, that would encourage sandbagging. I mean, somebody's going to master GM skills. I'm like, I'm going to stay as a B because that's where the money's at.
Well, hold on. Why don't we back that up? Like, let's say we don't even have to say encouraging sandbagging. Let's say you have a production gun that you like to shoot. You like to shoot production a little bit, and you also like to shoot limited, and you happen to be B class in production and C class in limited, and you're signing up for the area match. You're like, well, I'm C class in limited, so I got a better crack at the payout, right? Whereas maybe you would have signed up for production. Like, that's not really sandbagging. It's just kind of like
you're playing your odds better.
Yeah, you're playing your odds for the paid out better. Is that a bad thing?
It would sure revive L10. That's for damn sure.
There's the fix. I
don't know.
Right there.
Not with this model, because they were the model in the thread. They were taking a percentage of the individual match fees from that.
Right, and it's based on.
So if you still have 5 people in
that
L10.
stage.
Yeah, so then the payout in L10 is still $0.
$5. Right?
Well, guys, here's another
Kleenex.
Here's another option for you. This model that we're looking at here, less. Would you rather pay half what the match fee is? So instead of paying $100 match fee and having a paid out, that is this sort of pretty minimal thing. Would you rather do that or just pay $50 for the match and have no paid out? If it's up to you.
All right. I mean, honestly, I would say I'd rather pay $50 for the match and just still compete. I mean, you know, it's one person who's going to share the spoils out of all that. I mean, not even share the spoils, but
well, they might pick up the beer tab, not your beer tab. They couldn't afford it. But
that's clearly more than $1,000. But you know, honestly, I mean, you know, if you lower the price across the board, I mean, that would be pretty interesting. That would make it more accessible to more people, or just defray the cost a bit. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's not crazy expensive to go out and shoot a match now. I think if you really wanted to do something with payouts where you got really compelling with them, kind of like that archery model, then I think you'd have to start doing $500 entry fee for everybody, or something more.
Well, fuck that. That's crazy talk then.
Right. Exactly. So at that point, it becomes, well, how many majors are you going to shoot? And even if the leaderboard paid out more, you know, more slots down, like in golf or like in archery, but I mean, but it's just more expensive to shoot. I don't know.
So the thing you mentioned in archery, it sounded to me like no one, in fact, anyone, the probability of anybody winning that during the course of the season is pretty low, right? Like, it's not guaranteed to be paid out to anyone. So probably what they've done, if they do like golf, is,
they get a hole-in-one?
Yeah, so like the hole-in-one wins a car in golf or whatever. That, you know, that amount of money is not sitting there. They've hired an insurance company to provide that. Like, they're
Jesus Christ, Nick.
So that's a
what
little
do you
bit
do?
different.
Do you just watch the Golf Channel when you're dry firing, or what do you do? What are you talking about?
My dad's into golf pretty hardcore. I used to golf when I was younger.
Okay.
I haven't done it in years, but they do. Like, if you at a golf tournament, if you have you know, win a car for a hole-in-one on number 3 or whatever, they've paid some insurance company like a small amount of money, like $500, to insure against the possibility of that happening. So it's not the same as having to have like a guaranteed pile of cash there to pay out to whoever wins, regardless.
Okay.
I just want to make that point. Anyway.
My biggest point of this whole thing is, who actually shoots these major matches with the intent of, oh my God, I can't wait for this
to
cash
make so much fucking money.
Table. Yeah, I mean, nobody. Well, at least nobody here on this panel tonight says, I'm going to go shoot Area 5 last weekend based on a fucking cash payout. No, everybody goes and shoots Area 5 because they want to shoot.
What are you talking about? If you win, you get $20.
And they want to compete against guys.
You stupid?
I mean,
it's $200 cash, motherfucker. IRS are going to know nothing about that.
We've covered this shit before, though. I mean, honestly, they could do it away with prize tables. They could do it away with cash payouts. I would still go and shoot the match.
Yeah, I wrote down a couple other points reading through that thread. So, first of all, if you're going to actually, I think that publishing a model, like if you're doing something with a percentage of the match fees like they're talking about there in that thread, I think publishing that is a horrible idea. Okay, because then you're going to have everyone who didn't win is going to know exactly how much of their match fee was wasted on the prizes for whoever won.
Yeah, you're right.
It's going to generate a whole lot of butt.
They know how much the winner got, right?
Yeah, so that I think they know exactly.
You'd be out of sorts to count your, $370, right?
Yeah, but everybody else is going to look at that. They're going to look explicitly at, okay, $30 of my money was directly sent into that guy's pocket, and I'm going to be pissed off about that. That would happen.
So what you're saying is, if people know where their money goes, they're not going to like it.
Right. So I would not open the books on that particular aspect of it as a match director. Okay. Honestly, I just wouldn't do it.
You don't think the solution to that is, hey, if people knew where their money was going, they're not going to like it. Why don't we just not do that with their money?
Well, and that's probably, I've never seen a match that does publish exactly where the money comes from if they're going to do a payout.
It's not like they fire it out of a fucking cannon from Moneyland or something.
Well, they do. I mean, it'd be you don't know you don't know, or at least I don't know whether it came from sponsors or match fees or whatever.
No, I'll tell you, when I go to Area 6 next year and you beat me, I'll be like, that motherfucker got $1,000. I'm so mad right now.
Probably.
No, I probably wouldn't give a shit, but
Yeah,
not
but
at
a
all.
lot of people are. I mean, a lot of people are going to be bent
Really?
about that. I guarantee it.
Well, I haven't shot a match with like a big paid out structure. We'll see how many angry emails I get about Area 5. Like, you got $200. Right.
So this is kind of funny. So South Carolina sectional, I got I think $300 for being the South Carolina state champion in production with a field of like whatever,
Right, no.
75 people or more.
That's
The
pretty
guy
serious.
the guy in L10 who won with 8 people in the division got $275.
See what I mean?
Yeah, wherever that cash was coming from was like if it came from match fees, it was coming from other divisions too. So
Wow.
that's kind of thing. Like, so
Yeah,
it's
but he
kinda-
won a division.
No, he was in state champ, so he was actually like third
No,
or
but
fourth. in the
L10's a
division.
harder division than production. Production's a beginner division.
Yeah, right.
So
Yeah.
you need to buy a
That's
real
true.
gun now. That's
Okay.
how that works.
You can work on that. Yeah. I'm not. I don't. Like I said, I wouldn't. If I was a match director, I wouldn't publish the formulas in general because I just wouldn't want people to jump down my throat, question them, and that's not what I'm doing. I just found it kind of entertaining.
And what do you mean entertaining?
Just kind of funny that that there's in that particular case that the money wasn't balanced like it was through like a
that's-
formula like you would have in a
I don't
thread there.
understand. Just fucking with you.
Yeah. No, what I
I
think
mean,
they should
honestly, what they should do for if you want to shoot L10, like when I become a match director someday, we're gonna do the double down thing. If you want to shoot L10 or revolver, you pay double. Period.
do, just so you don't have to entertain those divisions for the match.
No, they're welcome to shoot. I just
Well,
want them to pay double just because. I think open should pay half. Now that I'm thinking about it. I don't know why that is, but definitely fuck L10 and revolver. You carry optics by then. Like carry optics pays triple.
so you could do like they did at Georgia and send out an email before the match saying we only have 3 people in L10, so we're not having L10. They did that.
What?
I thought that was a brilliant idea. That was great.
Not have L10.
They didn't. They sent out an email a few weeks before the match saying
They
we only
allowed
have.
them to shoot the match, yeah?
No, they did not have the
What?
division.
No,
there was no
they
L10.
just let them shoot it, but you don't recognize it. Be like,
Oh,
I
well,
mean,
okay. I mean, they would have stuck them in
L10
limited
and
or
Georgia
whatever.
would have
Yeah.
been like a monkey banging cymbals together, where you're like, yeah, that's great, he's having fun, but I don't give a shit. Like, you know what I mean?
I mean, they would have just stuck them in limited and be like, okay,
There you
you're
go.
shooting limited with 10 rounds. You're gonna, I guess, have fun.
Damn.
Yeah, they said there was 3 people registered for it, and they weren't gonna have the division. And I was like, that's fine. In fact, do that more often. I like that.
Cancel revolver while you're at it.
Yeah, they had 5 people in revolver.
Oh shit.
They said if we'd had 4, we would not have recognized the division, but since we have 5, we're gonna recognize the division. I think that's what the email said.
Shit.
So I don't,
Who was
I
the
don't know
match
how
director? Is that Mike?
Mike Courier.
Oh, yeah, he's a badass. I like
He's
Mike.
cool. I talked to him for a while.
So there you go.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Anything else to say about the cashy cash paydouts? Les, you want to see it, just like the archery model. $1 million if you shoot a clean season. So no Charlies for the whole season at 10 major matches.
All alphas.
All alphas.
And like
$1 million.
right. That'd be. No, that would be interesting.
No, it'd be very slow. I would shoot slow that year. What about you, Nick?
I think the fairest way to do it to prevent the kind of sandbagging that would occur if you had like the model straight out of the thread would be just whatever the total prize pool is, divide it in half, do half of it through straight finishing order performance, and then the other half completely random draw. And that way,
So, like, if you win
Everyone has-
L10, you would get 275.
Well,
Production state champ.
you'd have it
get
scaled.
less.
You get scaled by division.
Sort of random.
Participants also.
So based on how cool the division is.
Right.
Open would get the most then, obviously.
I don't know.
Open's the best division, Nick. You got to recognize.
It's pretty
It's
badass.
It's the fastest.
It looks cool
All
on
right.
video. Yeah.
I think. Look, what's the coolest car racing sport? Formula One, obviously.
Formula One,
That's like
yeah,
the
sure.
open of open of cars. There's only 22 drivers or whatever. There's not that many, but it's the coolest division, coolest sport. You got to get with it. Tim, you have anything else to say about this? You don't give a shit, do you?
No, I don't. I don't.
You find the whole to me the whole thing's kind of like, well, what about adding in money? It's like, if we make this financial, then you're not going to like where this math takes us.
Exactly.
Which is where you just don't do this anymore.
Well, and at the same time, you always notice the guys that are arguing for like random prize tables or cash payouts are, and God, this is going to make me sad.
All right, I'll type the guy's name in the group chat.
This is going to be completely. I already know who the guy is. But it's going to make me sound completely elitist to say this, but it's typically always those guys that are like C or B class guys that just, like, man, I'm never the first guy up at the prize table, and that goddamn grandmaster came and took all the guns off the table and all the good stuff, and all that was left was, a shooter's connection bag or, a freaking vote
that's
for
true.
Jack Super, sunglass lens cleaner or something.
Well, what? You're gonna do him like that?
No.
That'll be a pretty cool souvenir to have in a couple of years, actually. Okay, you remember? It's like having it'll be like the equivalent of having an Al Gore for president bumper sticker or something. Like, hey, remember this? This was a thing.
I got one in my bag right now.
I don't like it. I don't like random prize tables either. I don't like any of that shit. There's just no incentive to then go to the match and do your absolute best to win the fucking match. Not just to win your division, not just to win your class, or not division, but not to win your class, but to win the division. I mean, you want to win the whole thing. I mean, who was...
No, you want to win overall, dude.
Well, yeah. I mean, so...
I guess.
I don't know. I don't like any of that shit.
All right, well, let's leave it there. Thank you guys so much for joining us. What?
What a jip. No shooting question?
Dude, we got to move on to the next show. You'll get your shooting question, you fucker.